Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold, the play-by-email multiplayer series. And this is it. We're in real peace talks now. So basically, we're both doing our final pushes to try to negotiate the final lines. We'll be drawing this series to a close, I think, after one more episode. So this will be the penultimate episode. And actually, the last turn, the Germans made some pretty effective counter pushes. I don't know. We both kind of, I was kind of recommending we push on a little bit longer since it's more fun to be winning than to be losing. However, he made some pretty good counter pushes in the last episode. I probably exposed myself a little too much. Like, okay, so this is how things sat when we last left them, or after I made any of the modifications that I was going to before ending my turn after the recording last video. So we were pretty exposed here, like just looking at it when I was, he's going to counterattack this, spoiler alert, but when I was looking at that, I was like, you know what, I probably shouldn't have extended that far. Now I did have, I can't click it here, but I did have armored cars there, and he doesn't have any anti-armor. I mean, he does have anti-tank, but you wouldn't expect those to be good on the offensive. They were still effective. I mean, they're not terrible in the offensive, to be honest. So it was a good use. What else do we have? Just bombardment. It's funny. He bombards. He just bombards right up the line, and counterattacks here. Well, let's just let it play out. But basically, you know, the exposed elements it's pretty obvious where he's going to attack. So he bombards, and those are both places. No, I think he attacks here. And yeah, let's stop this for a sec. Massacred me in the north just by a four-sided attack. Now, that's a little unfortunate, but we were just going to try to push out and take the supply lines if possible. There's the other attack. We didn't lose any armor, just infantry in all these engagements. Another attack there. We did lose 3 armor in the last turn, which when I first saw it, I was pretty concerned about, but it turns out the 3 armor are just 3 armored cars, which, I mean, it's not great to be losing armored cars, but that's what you get for exposing yourself on almost every side. So, probably shouldn't do that. I shouldn't have moved in. The attack was probably a good one, but I would say here's their bombardment up the line. It probably wasn't a good idea to move in, or just overexpose myself. That's how I view it, at least. Very good. So in the next episode, I plan on actually bringing my father back in. It'd be nice to conference with him one more time, just to kind of talk about how things went during this this playthrough, to wrap up the series, and then we'll start thinking about where to go from there. Or you can start thinking about it. What would be a good place to take the next Advanced Tactics series? I have 2 ideas, basically. I was thinking about doing... So recently, for Distant Worlds Universe, a Space 4X game, I have been releasing over the last 3 months a tutorial series, and it's been receiving really positive feedback. And teaching is not something foreign to me. It's something that I end up doing in real life as well. So maybe I should do a tutorial series on this game. I'm actually really excited for the next game that VR is going to be looking into, which is going to be essentially more or less the sequel of this game, is what I hear. And I'm actually really excited to do a tutorial for that one, because I think we can really get people's interest up for this game. We can really increase the number of people who play this. I think the intimidation for this game is just, okay, if you didn't grow up with hex-based games, it's already intimidating, this hex-based counter system. And then on top of that, some of the mechanics are not intuitive to pick up. I think that the whole game makes a whole lot of sense, but I can see, I am very passionate about learning complex games. I can see where there would be some difficulty picking this up if you were a first-time player to Grand Strategy, or, it requires a bit of understanding of how combat situations are going to work, to understand how where your forces are going to be successful. So anyways, I was thinking about doing a tutorial series for this game itself, a very in-depth one, and hopefully we can not only get some more people interested in this game, but possibly kind of start building the hype up for whatever is the game that comes. That would be great. Alright, so let's see what we want to do on this turn. Basically, I'm not too worried. We're just pushing to take as much territory as we can. So we can be a little bit more aggressive, even though he has been counter-pushing very well, as we've seen. So let's not expose our units. Let's try not to expose my units too much. I think, let's just start in the south. I think we're going to move and push into this hill, because I can get both of these guys involved, and I think we can take this Jeep unit, the recon unit, with 2 full divisions of infantry. We should. I mean, yeah, very good. So they have 1 Jeep left, but that's fine. And I will move my riflemen in, just to start putting the pressure on. Not only that, but it's possible for us next turn to maybe start sneaking past, even though it will put us out of supply. I'm not concerned about that. My concern is much more about breaking out into the open. So we can only move 2 hexes in enemy territory per turn. That's our limit, whereas they can move 3. And I'm pretty sure that the numbers were done by design that way, so that you can always retreat a little bit faster than you move into enemy territory. Which makes sense. I mean, you have to kind of recon the lay of the land. You have to be cautious about running into enemy forces. So, still, if they don't have any forces which can combat my movement, then even just moving 2 hexes at a time will slowly get us over there. Obviously, it would be much better. I was actually thinking about moving my Jeep, using my Jeep to kind of get around or somehow get through, and then he can really blast through maybe like 3 or 4 hexes per turn. So, Alright, well I know what we want to do. We want to attack this hex this turn. Main goal is, again, to try to inflict casualties, because we are winning this war in terms of casualties. We have basically only 2/3 of the casualties he's inflicted on us. We've inflicted, 50% more casualties than he has on him. In terms of, I'm just looking at rifle, but it's about the same for everything. Not quite. It's more even with submachine guns. If we quickly retally our armored cars, or our tanks, our armored units, we have 12, 16, 38 compared to 55. So yeah, that's about a 50% bonus as well, or 50% increase in loss rate for him. I guess it should be adding up. It doesn't feel that way, because he's gotten anti-tank units out in spades, just tons of them. It's been really hard to make pushes with my armor superiority. So, just kind of shows the effectiveness of those anti-tank weapons, that putting enough of them has been really effective. Alright, so I really am all over the map. I know what I want to do this turn, but I'm not being very good at starting it. So let's go ahead and commence bombardment, which is a great place to start. Actually, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to bombard this unit with this artillery. Wow, that's off to a bad start, aren't we? I created this unit specifically so that I could get artillery in here. And oh, shoot. This is headquarters here. Don't lose more readiness. Okay, good. Very good. Very good. Okay, so now this guy can move forward here and bombard as well. I think we want to have him do that as well. So, obviously I'll make this unit an official division. Okay, we killed like nothing, but that's fine. Actually, killing that horse, no, that doesn't matter, because they're most likely not going to be moving anyway. So, but this is a target. Eventually, I want to push and attack this one, because we do have our armor in position, a nice solid armor, and this is a pretty weak well, if there's 3 of them, maybe I shouldn't attack, but I know for sure I'm going to attack here. So let's do that. In fact, I want to save the tanks just in case I want to attack here this turn as well. That's what I was thinking about doing. Did I just mess this up entirely? I wanted to attack across the river. Yeah, I think I may have butchered everything. That's okay, we'll do it this way. This was a alternate plan that I was developing at first, and now it's become the main plan, but that's fine. So I think this is what I want. I want to actually attack with the anti-tank guns because the majority of what they are is tanks. So anti-tank, some submachine guns, and then obviously the armors functions as anti-tank. And anti-tank over here as well, because that includes infantry, so should be good. We don't need the anti-tank to be involved in anything else, so let's attack and see if we can kill some tanks. Okay, 2 of them, that's good. And the other one, obviously he had to retreat. So we won, it was a pretty good battle for us. Took 7 losses, killed 14, so 2-1 on infantry, and then also, the more important thing of course, is just killing those 2 armored units. So I knew that we wouldn't be able to attack. If we moved in here, I knew we wouldn't be able to attack there anyway. That's why I moved my armor to the side to get the better surrounding. Might as well move these guardians in because there's no point to leave them outside the forest. They're better defending in the forest anyway. Now, we'll leave this guy in reserve for now until I figure out what I want to do. But I think that one of these anti-tank groups can move and attack. Yeah, that's what I thought. And that's actually kind of good because there's only one anti-tank, but he brings some infantry to the fight as well. So what would we be looking at here? We need at least 1 unit. Aha, very good. So we can get this anti-tank to push from this side as well. Or this one. This has slightly less infantry, 2 less infantry. But let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, this is 140. We'll get up to 150 if we attack from this side. So we would basically be at our limit right now, and I want to include some of these machine guns, obviously. It's what they're best at. It would have been really nice if I had been smart. I wanted to save the bombardment here, which didn't really matter, and move this guy up and bombard here. Because then we could have weakened this machine gun group, which is going to be pretty tough, in fact. At least we don't have to worry about much contribution from this unit. So let's see, just raw numbers wise, this is probably 10, 15, and then 30. So about 50 infantry and 5 armor. 50 and 5 compared with, well, I'm going to have more armor than them for sure. 6. Well, 6 to 5, that's actually not that much. Maybe we do have to hold off here. It's a little unfortunate, but I think we're going to hold off. And I want to swing my armor kind of back around to the left. If they are smart, they will get out of dodge, but my idea is actually to try to cut this whole segment off from the back. Which means, ideally, we would have some kind of engineer who could build another bridge here. Okay, so he can move here is 40, and then here is 25. Can he build a bridge? I just need a bridge. That's all I need is just the bridge. I don't know if... How much does it take to move across the river? 40. Okay. It's 40 and then 35. How much is it to cross the stream? I need to know. An additional 20. So he won't be able to do it. Because it'll be 25 plus 10 and then plus 20. So that's 55. And he's only going to have 35 left. Yeah, he definitely can't do it. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. No building a bridge this time. Yep. Well, we could build a road here. That seems kind of trivial, but it would get this armored car moving here at only a cost of 20, which may allow him to assist in another attack. I want to build a road over so I can just eventually build a bridge across. That's going to allow all the tank units that I'm going to flood this way to jump across, and they're doing a really good job of putting anti-tank guns up, so it's not like this is an extremely effective measure, but we'll just, yeah. Well, okay. Well, I know what I want to do for this. I'm going to want to attack this with all my artillery here. Because I'm hoping to get some kills on this anti-tank guns. I really wish we would stop targeting the horses. So not exactly who I want. And we didn't even kill them, but that was a pretty sizable amount of infantry we've killed. And what I think I'm going to end up doing anyway is attacking this unit. Okay, so let's go ahead and build that road. And that makes him unable to do anything, not even to move back. Okay, he's probably fine. He's probably safe right where he is. So now we're going to move this our armored car unit forward. And we're going to attack this unit. We'll probably get this machine gun involved just so we can get... I mean, can any of these guys do anything besides attack there? No. We may even attack here just to weaken them, although it would be a very terrible assault across the stream against a well-defended unit. Well, okay, so I'm going to contribute the machine guns here just to give us a small amount of bonus. And now we're going to get the armor and the armored cars. And let's get this infantry group involved as well. So that's good. It's not even the attack stat limit for us. These guys are so weak, it's just not worth probably investing any of those. Okay, let's grab this guy as well. Overwhelming fire superiority. Very good. So that was pretty effective. We took a few casualties, but we very quickly eliminated all of them. And now we're going to move all the people who just attacked in so I can see who is available. And this is the good news, by the way. We can continue to attack. I was counting on that. So let's see, this guy moved in as well. And that road actually is the difference between him not being able to attack and him being able to attack one more time. But most importantly, I wanted to get these mortars in here because they are going to be the important team which contributes to this assault here. So what I think is going to happen is I'm going to move a unit over here. I'm going to move a unit from the bridge area over to flank these guys. Because did I want to attack with this mortar or did they want to move forward? I can't remember how I wanted to do this exactly. I think infantry attacks this group. Or no, was it? I can no longer remember. I'm going to attack with the mortars. So let's get a group over here. Oh, okay. Well, let's get a unit which... Oh, I see. I have a mortar here. That's why. Okay, that explains it. So maybe I do want to save this mortar for an attack. No, that's got to be this guy then. Yeah. I'm waffling back and forth here. I'm trying to determine who I want to do my second attack with out of the group that's in this hex. So I don't know whether to include my mortars, who are pretty good at destroying artillery, in this attack, or to use them in whatever follow-up attack I eventually end up doing. Because that's the reason why I built that road, so that this armored car can also assist in the attack. All of these units can assist in the attack. Since they can move into this hex, which is where I assume this unit will fall back to, I want to do a follow-up attack to just completely eliminate this force. Okay, so let's just do the attack with... Can any of these units... Yes, so this unit can move here and attack. We'll do that. So we'll do this. And now we can get the mortar team from here. Probably... This machine gun group looks good enough, quote-unquote good enough. And the mortar team here. I want to avoid using my armor units because this is... Yeah, well, let's just bring overwhelming fire superiority then, and I'll use the mortars here. No, I would rather not use those. Okay, so let's use everything. That's kind of stupid that Let's use the mortars here, the machine guns like we planning to do. These are both broken, so I'm not really going to use them. Too low of readiness for any of these guys. These guys are okay, actually. 71. That passes the threshold. But let's leave them off just so that we have a unit to defend here. Okay, now bring this guy in, obviously. Attack here. attack here. So that brings us up to this. And I think this will be sufficient. Excuse me. I think this will be sufficient. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, this looks... I think a lot of the combat strength in this 39 is based on its anti-tank capability. So let's just see how this goes. It's a little bit weak. We could make this attack a lot stronger. But I'm intentionally trying to keep it... I guess let's add this 15. I'm intentionally keeping it a little bit weak just so I have more forces to push forward elsewhere. Okay. You know what? Let's add these guys as well. Why not? The more people, the better. Okay, kill those. Oh my gosh, we're not gonna... All of them survived. Oh my gosh. All of their anti-tank guns survived. That's incredible. Incredibly unlucky, really. So the whole idea here is to push in and to do an attack from multiple sides. Which I guess will be over here. We'll do a follow-up attack against this unit. So we will move this unit forward, I guess. Yeah, we're going to need to defend these new hexes. I don't want to get too much overexposed. They did a good job of pulling back their artillery, which means that one of these hexes is just going to get pounded into dust. And then I'm sure there'll be some kind of follow-up engagement. But none of these guys can attack, so let's not worry about that. What do we have to attack with right now? Just basically 2 mortars. Okay, yeah, so it looks like this infantry unit should get involved as well. Okay, so now we can attack with this many people, which is not bad. That's... If we could just get one more. Do I risk the armored car? Probably not. I might even risk my anti-tank, or I'm sorry, my armored group. Because I don't think that they should be destroyed by such weak AT guns. And honestly, I don't think I have the strength. I mean, let's just do all. I don't think I have the strength to push anywhere else. We don't have the strength. So let's just try to eliminate as much of these forces as we can. Yeah, but I'll save my armored car just because I don't want... Yeah, I don't want to lose my armored car on an attack, which is basically simply against anti-tank guns. It's a bit risky. Okay, good. That worked out well. We completely eliminated the forces there. Really sad that this one guy survived, otherwise this entire anti-tank division would have been destroyed. And I think we don't move anybody in there. Okay, so the push is going well here, and we are kind of setting ourselves up. In fact, this is silly. If I had waited, we wouldn't have had enough anyway. Okay, it's fine. Actually, no, we would have. No, we wouldn't have. Okay, I was saying if we would have waited to do the attacks before moving our engineers in, well, our armored car wouldn't have had the ability to attack, which it didn't end up attacking anyway, but we could have built this bridge, but we could not have. That was a bad estimate. So let's go ahead and pull these guys out, get them ready to attack next turn, and we'll go ahead and move this guy in here. So we should still be in pretty good shape. Even one anti-tank gun with some submachine guns. Maybe it won't survive an attack. It's quite possible that this could be overrun. Let's get something like this going on. And where are we going to want the Jeep? Let's move the Jeep down here as well. And we'll just hold this front. So they can still come across the river on the north, but I don't think that they will. Seems a little foolish to try to do that. And there's the picture in the north. So we basically completely repelled their assault. My goal was to kind of swing behind them with my armor, which, you know, we're still prepping for that. On the next turn, I think we'll be able to get this engineer to build. And even if we can get... See, we have another engineer here. Who can... He can actually build the... I should have built the road. That was stupid. Let me... try to undo that damage. So this'll, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. He's just gonna, his only goal next turn is gonna be move, build bridge. Then this engineer is going to pick up the duties from there by building a road like north or northwest, I don't know. Wherever we want these armor units to attack from, he's going to be responsible for leading the way. And then they should be able to get themselves into a position where they can attack next turn. And with 3 fully enforced armored divisions, we should be able to blow through whatever kind of anti-tank defenses they're able to mount. Now, I suspect if he's reading the situation correctly, he'll probably start falling back. But if we can race to Barnstead ahead of them, that's all that matters. Okay, so that's the big goal here, is to do some kind of cutoff so that we can get to Barnstead before this entire force is able to fall back. And I think we should be able to at least push them off the road and put a lot of pressure on, starting with next turn. Okay, so that's the north done. What else do we have? We have, I don't think anything's really going to happen here. In fact, I was already kind of thinking that we'll move, okay, let's see, who's, at least semi-competent here. Almost nobody. Well, that's very disturbing. In fact, I probably want to move the weakest group out of here, which is probably this guy. And this guy's pretty weak too. Nope, this is the weakest. Okay, so let's get them up there. And now I'll put this group in here, because I want that mortared there so we can do a counterattack. And we can actually move this machine gun in so we can move these guys. I guess I'm moving them. They could just get decimated though. Okay, let's keep the units we have here. That's fine. This is fine. And this is fine. So we're in good shape. What can this Jeep do? Nothing. We could move the Jeep into this hex, which would just force them to attack it, but it basically would be like killing the Jeep. And we may have a purpose for them. Technically, I'm not sure the series will go this far, but I'm not trying to think about the series stopping. I'm trying to think long-term still. We might have need for him if we can speed along the roads ahead of the enemy forces. Alright, so what are we doing here? I think we move this artillery north. We don't really have an effective use for it, and I think it would be much better if we can start getting it north to assist with a lot of the bombardment that I want to get done up here. So we can move it here even. I want to bombard this unit, but let's see. It's 25, this is 55, 65. So I guess he moves like this, 25, and then that. Okay, that's fine. Get 3 rounds of bombardment off on, well, let's do it on these guys. Well, these guys are already pretty low. Okay, let's do it on these guys, just to really make sure that this unit is completely wiped out. And in the back of my mind, I have the idea to keep eliminating as many riflemen as possible, because they are down on production, and even we were having an issue for a small amount of time of getting enough rifles. I had to severely divert a lot of my political points is completely in the tank, because all those points went to creating more rifles. How much worse must his situation be, considering he's lost more rifles and now he's down a city? So if we can keep putting pressure on that, obviously the things that'll never stop producing are his 2 factories. They'll always give him as many tanks and as many AT guns as they always have. And there's no way I can, discourage that. That's where level bombers and aircraft come into the game, I think. It would be kind of fun to, bomb his factories, but that's probably for the next series, not for this one. Okay, very good. I actually think we have enough for, and I am correct, we have enough for a tank division here as well. So we'll really be getting crazy armor superiority here in the north. Call this light armor, and get this guy also waiting to move forward on the next turn. We could have actually moved him up here, which might have been smarter. A lot is relying on this engineer to build that one bridge. But I think he has enough. I mean, he almost has enough now, and he should have around about 100 extra, engineering points by next turn, which would be sufficient. Okay, so that I only thought about that because I know that I'm going to want to move forward down here, and I want an armored group here. It would be great if we had actual armor to blow through these areas. Obviously, I've spent a lot of my armor. It's like all tied up in around Soligen, where it was really needed. But now the next most vital breakthrough is going to come, I think, in the south, where we can try to force pressure. If we can break into this open plain area, I think we already won, I think, but we really win. That's a huge victory for us to break into these open plains. Because now we have two avenues to assault their big cities. And the more vulnerable of these is obviously his capital city, which includes his tank factory. If we're able to push over to here, they have Ra's, oil, I mean, a lot of stuff that we can just eat up. Very important strategic hexes. Okay, but let's not get too bogged down in all that. Let me do an attack with my two very good artillery. Just to try to weaken this area up as much as possible, because an attack is coming. Very good. I mean, good enough, I'd say. Killed 14 and lowered their entrenchment and all that, because we will be doing an attack here. Okay, so let's see how this attack goes. Basically, anybody who's a guard unit is going to be involved, and I think we're also going to get one of my armored cars involved. I think this very weak armored car group, we're going to put them in anyway, just to give us a little bit of extra firepower against infantry. That and... okay, some of these guys, I just want like one or two guys from here to put pressure from the north. I think the best option for us is this group here. Let's have them attack. All right, now actually let's not have them attack. We might want, okay, maybe I'll do it this way. This is a pretty weak and undersupplied unit, but it can attack here. No, it can't. Okay. But you can move an attack. You can move an attack over there as well. I have forgotten how I planned this out. I know that all my guard units get involved. And this machine gun gets involved. Okay, let's just start adding the ones that I'm for sure about. And one of these guys has to get involved. I guess this one. And I think I did use this unit, and we can still use this unit. Okay, so that puts us still under. I want to throw in even these low readiness units because something is better than nothing, I think. And I think that this huge surroundment that we have is going to be sufficient to occupy this hex. So let's see how it goes. Well, we started off taking a bunch of casualties, but things I think turned in our favor after that. Yeah, so things went really well in the end. We killed about 60 units, and we took about 20 ourselves. That's really good. Okay, I'm happy. So we'll get to move these guys forward. Probably this guy. And these guard units can still attack, but that's in the open, so we'd rather them just hang out. I don't think we'll be able to actually attack any of these units. So we'll just get this engineer to keep building roads. Keep building roads forward just because, well, eventually it would be nice if we could push across. How's the supply? Still out of supply, but we just need them to have enough supply to jump across. And when they're in the open, we're just going to hope that they don't fight any enemies, even if the supply lags. All right. Now, I want to attack this unit as well, which is why I've saved this artillery group as well as this one. So we'll be doing a double bombardment here to see what we can get. Ideally I would kill this anti-tank gun because I was thinking about attacking with, well, we didn't do anything to that one, unfortunately. But we did lower their combat effectiveness pretty significantly. So what do we do? Let's see. Now we want to do a follow-up attack. I think we're going to attack with this machine gun from here. Yeah, it would have been even better if our armored cars were able to get over here, but that's fine, they aren't. So we'll get this machine gun to assist the attack from here. Oh, bummer. I should have involved this guy in the earlier attack. He can't get involved here. I didn't know that. Well, I'll have him move here because it'll help protect my engineers and better defend this area. I'm not too worried about this forest attacks. They have really good entrenchment, so. Okay, so we attack with, if we do all, we can get, we don't want the guard unit here. So basically we only have the machine guns grouped there. Now we're still a little bit over the attack stack. I think we go in, this has one slightly lowered readiness AT gun. The idea is hopefully that we can get away with using our anti-tank, our armored cars without taking losses, but I'm not very confident about that, so I'm going to remove this armored car. I'm obviously not going to attack with the Jeep. But now we're attacking with some pretty good forces. We have, that's 1 and then 3 from this group. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, I think we should be able to do it with this group. Let's do the attack. Good. And we were able to kill the anti-tanker. That's so important, because if my armor cars are going to push, they have pretty low readiness. Yeah, that worked out really well, in fact. Much better than I was hoping. 2-to-1 odds at least, and we got the AT gun. So now the good news is that these armored cars can push forward. They even have enough to do another follow-up attack. Which maybe is true. It's not true with... Oh, we involved this guy in the earlier attack. I forgot. Yeah, we'll just have him hang out here. I forgot about that. Okay, so let's see who else can move forward. Can anybody continue the attack? Yes, good. So we have at least one unit who can contribute to the attack. This unit can just move in to defend, which is fine because we have 2 machine guns and 2 guard units here. That's a very well fortified hex. No. This unit, can move in for free, but we might just keep it here, considering it doesn't have enough to contribute further. And we do want to defend this hex a little bit. At least a little bit. Okay, well, let's move this guy forward, and the machine guns that are still waiting on reinforcements, we'll move them forward as well. Yeah, so I guess let's see who can attack. Do we attack this unit or these 2 units? My idea is actually we can push forward here and put pressure on the artillery. So let's do this. Okay, we can only push forward with a full group of rifles, which is good, a full division, and also this partially depleted armor car group, which should just completely smash this unit. So let's go ahead and attack with those. And the good news is this gives us a presence further to the west. Come on, kill them all. Ah, bother. Well, they're still alive, but I think my Jeep can actually follow up attack. Wow, this would be risky. We're in pretty good shape here, though. That's a pretty solidly defended path. I know that we can be attacked on multiple sides. This group will be taking it from 3 sides. And this is, again, that kind of a really overextended way that I've been playing lately. We're actually going to go extremely bold. We're going to send my Jeeps to attack. This group has no organization. So ideally, we can actually win this. And nobody did any damage to anybody. Okay, fine though. We didn't take any damage, and I don't know what ended up happening with them. But we pushed enough forward that we've actually cut off this whole swath down here. I have no doubts that this unit will be eliminated on the start of next turn. that the enemy's reaction is obviously going to be to eliminate this force. But the good news is they're going to have to divert resources to do that, and for next turn, they won't have supply for this area. Alright, good. Things are shaping up over there, and now the only place really left to do anything is in this middle area. But I'm pretty content not to like do any like crazy assaults or anything here. I think what I'll be doing is bombarding. Do these guys have full bombardment? This guy's missing just one turn, but that's fine. And this guy's fine. Yeah, so we'll do a bombardment here, and I think we'll do an attack here. So we'll probably move up a few more artillery to get the additional benefit. Just the third artillery group. Pretty good already. It is an open area, which is why I was targeting it. But let's get even one more group in. I'm going to move this group here, actually. Oh, that was a mistake. So that lowered their readiness by too much. Let's try to do that in a not so stupid way. Actually, that's still fine, because they're going to have reduced effectiveness anyway. So let's just see what we can get out of 7 rounds. Yeah, something. Lowered their readiness a little more. And now I actually want to do a big attack with armor there. So let's pull up the big boys. We have a 127 here. That's pretty effective. And it's not going to be very effective. The only other thing we could do with this unit is push through in the south, push around. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense too. I was actually trying to divert one of my artillery to the south this turn, but I'm not sure if we have if we have the ability to do that. This is really supposed to be Green's territory in terms of artillery and all that. It's just that I never really supplied them a lot with artillery. Okay, so they have 4 artillery groups in the south. I guess that's sufficient. They're only up against 2 opposing artillery groups. Yeah, so we'll leave it as is. And armor-wise, it might be too late. Probably not. They're able to get anti-tank guns here, here, and here they have. So they have no anti-tank in this little swath right here, which makes these units extremely vulnerable. Yeah, I mean, they can even attack this Jeep with their engineers. Yeah. Let me just see if we can get by with attacking this group with other tanks. So let's move this guy in. Whoops. Let's move. Yeah, we have 2 solid tanks here we can move in, who can both attack. Both those guys. We can get, I think, an anti-tank group into here if we need to defend it with more units, but we probably won't need to do that. I don't think any infantry can reach this unit because they've all been bombarded. Unfortunately, now it's 2 jumps. Yeah, they can't attack. Here's a 98. Can he attack? He can't. So what we have right here is already pretty sizable amount of units. The problem is there's not enough supporting infantry for my liking. But we can't get any supporting infantry there. That's the sad part. Okay, the only other unit we could commit in terms of decent armor is our big guy. So we have to make a decision whether or not we want to commit this armor to the south or to this little breakthrough here. And I think we're just going to see how this goes by itself. Could go very poorly. Obviously my infantry just going to die right away, but my armor just completely plowed through. Didn't lose a single armored unit, and not only that, but we killed one of theirs and caused the rest to retreat, which means they'll be very low readiness. Look at these guys are still full green as well. So really a fantastic performance from my armor. Only 2 infantry groups remained in the fight, and look how low they are. They're just so disorganized. This was truly an armored battle. But we took out a lot of artillery. I should have gone to the detailed screen, but I don't want to move any of these guys forward. In fact, I'm going to try to pull these guys back if possible. We can only pull them back to here. I think we will. Because this is a very exposed hex. We punched through as it was. We caused like ridiculous casualties, and that means that this group is free to move down here, which is good. Let's see, move here. Yeah, okay, good. So things are looking very good for the future in this area. Like we've successfully routed some armor to the flank. We've already broken a hole in their lines here. That doesn't matter in terms of supply because their road just goes around. They had redundancy built in. I guess we're just gonna go ahead and bombard with the remainder. Just start doing the usual World War I trench warfare stuff right up the line. Okay, that and can artillery reach this guy? No, not yet, but we'll solve that very soon. Let's move here, get both of those guys to bombard. I'm not really even paying attention to what we do. This is just your standard affair. And this is kind of cool. Looks like we'll be able to bombard. Yeah, this is actually good. We have 2 artillery left over that didn't have to bombard anything yet. Why was it? Oh yeah, because these guys aren't on a road. So we have 2 left over that can bombard anything we want. We could try to move forward and even bombard their artillery. There's always a risk with that because you're putting yourself in range to be counter-bombarded. Although, they don't have any other artillery besides this one, so if we're able to reduce their effectiveness, yeah, it's 2 against 1. I think I'd like that. Let's go ahead and roll the dice and actually move forward and bombard here. We need to do some damage to their artillery though, and we didn't. That was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. Oh man, what a bummer. Well, that's okay. We're also pretty well protected in a group of a lot of units, so there shouldn't be any negative repercussions from that. Great, well I think that's everything I want to do for my turn. I'll make a lot of the force adjustments off camera, but that's it. This series has gone really well. It's been a lot of fun. So this might be the final lines we see. Like I said, I'll bring my father back in for the final video next episode. But that was kind of fun. So I'm not sure if he'll do a turn and then we'll just talk together while I do a final turn. Or maybe we'll bring it back in for my quote-unquote next turn, but I won't even play the turn. We'll just kind of discuss things. Maybe I'll save this as a scenario. We'll load it up in the scenario editor if I can do that. I can't remember if that's possible or not. And then we can just see what both units have. We'll just be able to look at the, cheat basically. We'll be looking at the entire map. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching this series. So we're really bringing it to a close, but I appreciate all the support I've gotten. So I will catch you guys in the next video. And until then, take care.